Hello everybody, this is Anna, also known as Anna Knit on Ravelry, and this white thing jumping on the couch is Benny. He is our co-host, so to say. Say hi, Benny. Ja, alles gut. And yeah, on the screen you can see where you else can find me in the internet if you want to follow me or be updated when I upload videos or something. I'm most active on, I would say, Instagram. I have opened a Facebook group which is called Anna Knit Podcast for you because it's much easier to load up videos or photos and to keep us updated and comment, and you can comment with a photo and all that stuff you can't really do on Instagram. So we are already, I think, 10 members in the group, and it would be so awesome if you just would all come to the Facebook group and we can chat and update us there. Today is Sunday, that means it's a normal Sunday knitting and crocheting podcast upload. I hope it's not too loud for you. I have opened the windows because it is hot. It's not spring, it's summer here, and it will end, I think, in the beginning of the next week. But we have, at the moment, the last days we had 28 degrees Celsius around-ish. So it's really, really hot, and I can't close the windows in my flat. No way. So maybe you will hear some engine noises. I haven't much to show you this week, just because of a very, very exciting reason. Because, okay, I would say it now, but at the end of this episode there will be a blathering section and I will go in detail. But I have been offered a job for September and I will be a teacher again. So, and there was some preparing stuff to do and I was excited and dived into all the preparation for the new school year. Totally crazy in April, but it's like I am. So there wasn't much time invested in knitting or crocheting, but I did a little bit. So let's start with the fiber content. Knitting and crocheting is going to be in that episode, but only really 2 objects. So the first object with the most progress I did is the Feathers in the Wind cardigan by Joji Locatelli. Ja, Benny, lässt du mich? I am at the second skein, so now it's a cake already, and for my size I will need 4 skeins of yarn, but I bought but I bought 5 just to be sure. So okay, I have separated for the sleeves. Nein, Benny, das sind meine. He's sniffling through minis I have received, so I have to put them on the desk. Sitz. Okay, at the moment he sniffles everything, I don't know why. So this is the cardigan. Yeah. It's totally scrunched up on the needles and the lace doesn't show as it will after blocking, so you have to be, yeah, you have to have fantasy to know how pretty it will look. Yeah. So that's the lace motif or pattern. Then I had to do garter ridges. And now I'm at the part where I only have to knit plain stockinette for a while. Then waist shaping will happen. And after that, I think again, only stockinette. And here I have, that was Benny if you were able to hear that. Here I have separated for the sleeves. So yeah. I don't know how you call these. So word by word translated, we call them in German stitches holder. So yeah, that's what they do. They hold the stitches. Because I hate using scrap yarn just because the stitches will shrink and then it will be so difficult to get them on knitting needles again. But this, yeah, needle is pretty much the size of my knitting needle. No, not really, but it's big enough to make it easy to put them on the needle again. Yeah. Oh yes, and I'm using my own handmade stitch markers here. I don't know what he's doing. He always sniffles everything since a week or so. When I'm coming home, he is not greeting me like a dog does, jumping on me and no, he is like for 5 minutes. When I'm going in another room, he will follow me and still sniffles my legs and feet and everything. Just like a police dog or so. Where have you been? What have you done? What did you take? So, here are my self-made stitch marker. I love them. And now, oh, I hope I won't forget to grab them, because I made, I think, 50 or so, 50 stitch marker in different colors in a set of 10. I like these. They are so pretty. So I need coffee, sorry. Okay. People outside. Okay. Yeah. I can't really talk much about it because I only separated for the sleeves and did here and there some new cast on stitches, you know, and just knit plain stockinette. Yeah, and the color is very pretty. So, aus, runter. I'm knitting this on 3.5 higher sharps, my most favorite needles. And the pattern suggested for the, sorry, I'm knitting this with Malabrigo Arroyo Sandbank, and the pattern suggested 4mm, but no. I'm a way too loose knitter. And here you always have to do in the garter ridges the buttonholes. And just to keep me reminded and not to forget the buttonholes, I have this huge progress keeper, but it's not really, I don't use it as a progress keeper. Always when I have done a buttonhole, I will clip it here or put it here, because it's so tangling and big, so that every once in a while I'm flipping over my knitting and see, oh yes, the scissors. Don't forget the buttonholes. Yeah, because I would forget them. Okay, nein, nicht hier. He wanna play with me now. Maybe you can see him. Wait. Benny? Komm mal her. Komm mal her. Sorry. Yeah. That's my dog. Yes, I enjoy the yarn, I enjoy the needles, I enjoy the pattern. It's not difficult. It is, I have all that I have knit in front of the TV. Okay, sometimes I had to pause for the lace, but it's really easy. Don't be afraid. Yeah. Nein, nein, nein. Geh mal hier lang. Geh mal hier lang. Sorry. Yeah, so there isn't much to say more about it. It will be a short episode, as I said. And I have much to do still today. It is Sunday, it is not really work what I have to do, but it is like preparation for a special day, so yeah. And then I worked on, it's so pretty, I worked on my blanket just a tiny little bit, because I'm buying a new sofa. As you can see, it's another color here. Normally I have this orange red thing and I tried to dye the you know, the cover of the couch, because I can take it off, wash it and so on. So I tried to dye it in dark blue, but it didn't really work. It turned out like greenish, and then you still were able to see the pattern, and so no, I don't like it. And now I found a used couch, the one I really always wanted, because there's this one couch system IKEA offers. It's called Ecktop, and I had the chair once in my student's flat when I was a student, and I loved it. It is so cozy and big, and I couldn't keep it, unfortunately, because my flat is too small. But now I want to have the couch for two, the two-seat couch. I don't know how you say in English. In white. Well, I didn't want to buy a white one, but that was the best offer I could found in the used sofa thing. Because new they would cost me too much. I wouldn't invest that much in a couch. Yeah. So it comes with a white cover, but you can buy extra couch covers. I call them covers now because I don't know how you call it. And so I can buy another one, and the white one will be so pretty. That's the reason why I'm talking about that. Will be so pretty with my blanket, and then I can just put it on the couch and it will be safe. And I can wash it, but I have a dog and the dog always wants to sit next to me on the couch, and I have another chair by IKEA and I can wash that also, but I have to wash that every 3 weeks or so because, yeah, dogs. Yeah. So, and I did a little bit on Clue 2, and I think this will be the project I'm working on today because it is such a pretty awesome weather summer day, and yeah, when it is so nice, I really enjoy working with cotton. It's not that I can't work with sheep wool or so because it's too hot or so. No, I can work on a winter cardigan on the hottest summer day at the beach. I don't care. I can knit always and everywhere, no matter how hot it is. Yeah. But I like the feel of cotton in my hand. And here is the second clue. So it started with the granny stripes, and every clue has 10 rows. And as I told you once before, several times before, there are 13 clues. But the 13th is the border. The border options. You have more options for the border. Yeah. And this has 290 stitches, and it is awesome pretty. Now imagine a white couch and this blanket. I'm a northern German girl, you know. I love these colors. It's my personality. These colors, my personality. I don't know. Yeah, I'm wearing a blue dress and I love blue and white kitchens, for example. Oh, I love those. These old-fashioned northern German or East Frisian kitchens with read the screen. They are white with a blue pattern and the wooden kitchen furniture. Oh, I would love to have this kind of kitchen once. Who knows? Yeah. Sorry, I'm a bit disorganized today, but I wanted to make a quick episode because I haven't so much time today. 290 stitches. 2 of these stitches are the side stitches. How do you say in crochet? And I'm crocheting with a 3mm crochet hook. I think it's a D hook, if I'm not totally wrong. And I'm using 8 different colors. And you can find the pattern on Ravelry in English and German in my projects. I have a project page for that blanket. Yes, and this is 100% cotton yarn. 125 meter per 50 gram ball. The pattern calls for a 150 meter yardage, but that's really, it makes no difference, I think. We will see at the end, but I think it makes no difference, yeah. And where I ordered the yarn, I can always order more from. It's not a fancy yarn. It's actually very cheap. I think one ball did cost €1.45. So dollar, I think, I don't know, I would say around a little bit more than $1. $1.20 or so, I would guess, or 10 cents or so. It's really not expensive, but very soft. Soft and I guess sturdy and nice to work with. And I don't split the stitches. Sometimes with cotton yarn it's so annoying when you always by accident split the yarn, the strand, the the thread, you know. So pretty, and it is so much fun, and it is such a summer project, and I'm very happy. I'm really very happy. So yes, I'm drinking a iced coffee in my Minions glass because I love iced coffee. It's just an instant one, nothing fancy, but I love that. I always buy this in Germany because you can get a can, I think it's called can, and you take as many spoons as you need for one glass and pour over the milk, stir, and you have a very nice iced coffee. And here in Austria I only saw the bags, the pre-portioned bags, and yes, they are more expensive, and I drink so much that it comes more handy with this. No, it's not a tin, I think it's a can. I don't know. It's not made from metal, so I don't know if it's a can. Oh, I love that. And it's a no name. You know, it's from Lidl or from Aldi or so. Nothing fancy. So these were my only projects. Okay, I did some squares on my blanket, but I didn't even frame them, so it's not worth showing. Or how Kristen would say, it's not worth writing home about. I love that phrase. Yeah. And then I did a swap with Mrs. Lamb's Yarns from... So that's how she is called in on Instagram. And I received this pretty card. And they're very awesome. So now I try to show you without showing the note. It's a card from IKEA, which I like. And I have received this pretty progress keeper. Yeah. And on that, so I think it's a candy thing. So it has glitter, so I love it. And we decided to swap 10 mini skeins or minis. And she asked for rainbow or self-striping, I think. So rainbow colors, bright rainbow colors. And I asked for not so much self-striping, and then I didn't say anything. I take everything, but I didn't want to have too much self-striping because it doesn't look so nice in this pattern. I can show you the best example could be okay, this is self-striping, but that is still okay. But I had one example. Okay, this is also self-striping, and it looks so busy, you know. Yeah, and I tried to use solid colors, semi-solid colors, or micro stripes. Yeah. Okay. So, and here are the minis. So pretty. She didn't tag them, and it is really no problem because I don't pay much attention to the tags. I read them once, and then I'm winding the minis, and then I forget which tag belongs to which mini. So it really, you don't have to tag them for me. This looks like strawberry ice cream with vanilla, in my opinion. This is also very pretty. Hey Benny. This is also pretty. It looks like these two are from the same dye, I think. Now the dog is on my lap again. Very pretty colors, all these rosy and pinky colors, and the green. So, and I hope she will receive my 10 minis soon. Yeah, I don't wind minis like that when I swap. I have made, or I'm always making, like, are they called bobbins? You know, if you're doing cross stitch, you use often these white plastic cards where you wind your thread around, but they are very small, like so. And I made these out of cardboard or crafting paper, but bigger, like 4 by 6 inches or so. Is it 6 inches or 4 by 6 centimeter? I have forgotten, sorry. And then I wind them around there, around this kiteboard, and I write above and under the yarn, you know. Maybe I can insert a photo. I write how much gram it has and which, if I know which yarn it is, so the dye or the colorway or something. Because in my opinion, it's much more comfortable to knit right from the mini instead of, you know, have to wind them. And I'm such a lazy person. The last minis I wound for my blanket, I wound with my Swift. So I really used the Swift for these minis. I found out that it is not too big, because I wrote on Instagram, is there another way to wind minis or to unwind minis without doing it by hand, you know, winding a ball, because it's not fun and it's so time wasting. And then I tried to do it with my yarn Swift, and it's small enough, so to say, or the mini, if you do this, I don't know the right English term. This is not too small for the yarn Swift. So awesome. And another reason why I don't don't wind minis is because my minis always look I don't know. You can see my struggling, right? Don't look pretty. That I can't do this. It's not pretty. Yeah. And now the last fiber related thing I want to talk to you about is that I went to the Vienna Wool and Design Festival with my knitting friend Karina yesterday. Yes, yesterday, because it took place on Friday and Saturday. I have been there last year already, and I made a podcast episode after returning from the festival, and maybe I can link it in the show notes. And because I was so excited about that yarn festival, and I can remember that I was entering the room. There were so many vendors, I think, yeah, about 20 vendors or so, and that is for Vienna very, very big, because our knitting community isn't that, let's say, young and innovative as in the USA or in UK. And yes, I know that I entered the room last year and thought, oh my gosh, it is so awesome. And I saw all the women and men sitting together, chatting, drinking coffee, discussing their haul and knitting together or crocheting together. And I was alone and thought, okay, it's nice, but it would be so awesome to be here with someone who also loves this thing and can understand the craziness about yarn and patterns and so on. And that was before I knew Karina. I think a month later or so we got to know each other and went to our first yarn festival in Lower Austria, a smaller one. Okay, but this year, so I had the expectation that it will be at least as awesome as last year. And to be honest, I thought, okay, it will be more awesome, because now it was already known and many people heard about it and many people were talking about it and were fascinated by that festival last year. So I thought maybe there will be more vendors, more visitors and so on. Okay, we paid the entry. It was €5 for one day. And we entered the room where it took place the year before. And I said, oh, why are there so few vendors? What is wrong? And Karina said, yeah, maybe they have more rooms. I saw many doors, and maybe they have, you know, they are using more rooms for the vendors, so you have more place to, yeah, to walk around. And because sometimes it's very crowded on those kind of marketplaces, and yeah. So, and then we were at the second booth, and I said to the lady, oh yes, I still have to think about if I buy another bubble. I will show you in just a second. But I want to check out the other booths and then come back. And then she said in a very ironic way, or sarcastic way, yes, I hope you will find us again, because they are in a way, so she meant, oh, it's so crowded, I hope you will find us again. Okay. And I said, oh, no, it won't be a problem. I will be able to check that out. And yeah. And I thought it is a bad joke, just not a funny joke. Okay. And then I realized there are no more rooms. That's all. There were 4 vendors. 4. In a big Viennese hotel with they wanted to offer, I think, 8 workshops. They presented on their homepage, I think, about 20 vendors, maybe even more. You had to pay €5 for one day to enter the marketplace. There should have been a menu, dishes, to eat and offer coffee and all that stuff. And Karina and I were at the marketplace, I think, half an hour, maybe 3/4 of an hour. And in that time, one other customer was there. You can imagine how frustrated it was for the vendors. And I asked the lady from the booth who made that joke, I came back to, and she said, yes, yesterday there were a few more vendors, but we had no information, and it was not at all good organized, and we arrived and nobody could tell us where our booth stand had to be, and all that stuff. I don't know what went wrong. I really can't understand, because last year it was so awesome. And if you make the exact same event on the exact same day 1 year later, what can go so wrong that there are on a Saturday afternoon, I think 6 hours before closing, are only 4 vendors left and only 3 customers. That was so disappointing. Really, the vendors who were there were awesome, and it was like going in a very big yarn store, because if you normally go in your local yarn shop, you don't have that many different brands, for example, so it was okay. But I realized, okay, I paid €5 for that. Karina drove from Lower Austria to Vienna to go there, and it was, normally I should have been upset, but I was still shocked. I didn't realize what was happening, so to say, so that I wasn't too upset. And then I found, so the lady who was making the joke, I first thought what was a bad joke, was offering gradient yarns. Nein, aus. So we call them bobble. Aus. Benny. Aus. He is so excited, I don't know why. And I bought this one. It is I will put it out here in just a second. It is a dark blue, light, let's say dark blue to gray blue to light blue to white to red to coral to red. It's a typical lighthouse or North Sea color scheme or so. I don't know how to say it, but it's northern German colors, so definitely North Sea colors. So this is a 3-ply yarn for 3 to 4 millimeter needles. It has 1000 meters, and this cost, I always think it's interesting to say how much the yarn costs, because it's also important, and many podcasters don't say. So this cost €29, and I think it's okay for a 1,000 meter yardage. 1,000, you know, 1,000. If you use 2 fingering weight skeins, you normally have 800 meter, and you can make a very big shawl out of 800 meter, and this is 1,000. So I think it's awesome. Benny, he's so, I don't know what's wrong. Aus, mach Platz. Mach Platz. Okay. I think it's also nice that she put it into this sack. That's her card. And she had so many pretty Verläufe, gradients. Yeah, gradients. Yeah. Yeah. And she has an online shop. So if you are interested, you can see her website on the screen. And I will definitely buy more because I saw very pretty colors. So this is acrylic and cotton yarn. I don't know, to be honest, how much percent of what. Maybe I will find it on the screen. But it doesn't feel like much acrylic yarn. And this is so pretty. I love that. Really, I love that. I really don't find often gradient bubbles like this. I really love. Normally they offer, I don't know, 20 different gradients, and I find 2 I really love. I really have to have, so to say. But this is awesome because it's so North Sea like. I always like that. And I will make a shawl out of this. I haven't decided yet if I will crochet or knit it. Because knitting with a non-plied, let's say non-plied, yeah, non-plied yarn. It's again this kind of yarn. It's not plied. Knitting with that is not so much fun in my opinion. But crocheting is absolutely no problem. So this, I want to make a shawl out of this for the summer because we will visiting my parents again this summer, my boyfriend and I, with Benny. And this time we will stay together much longer, and I'm looking so much forward to that. And because we are living, so where I come from is very, very close to the North Sea, we will definitely visit in, how it's called, in East Frisian Island. So, and we will definitely go to the sea because I love the sea. Landscape wise, I really love the sea the most. I don't have to be able to swim in the sea because the North Sea is very cold. It's only about hearing or listening to the waves hitting the beach and the smell of the air because it's so salty. It's a very special smell and a bit fishy also. And I love to eat fish. And the beach. I don't have to have a sand beach, to be honest. I really love Croatia, so Istria to be correct, because they have such nice stone beaches, and that gives you the possibility to see fish and to see the, you know, the ground of the sea. Do you know what I mean? And sand beaches always means not so clear water. Yeah, you can't really see fish or so. And one day I want to visit Istria again because I have spent many holidays there. I think already 3 or 4, and I always loved it. I always loved it. The people, I know I have a subscriber from Croatia, and I'm greeting you here now. So I really enjoy the people there. They are so friendly and helpful and uncomplicated. I hope that is the right word. In German I always say, if a person isn't complicated, we say uncomplicated. I hope it's in English also. Benny, nein? And, and the food in Croatia. Oh, the food. You can always get so good fish, and everything is so delicious there. Yeah. I loved to spend the summers there at the sea. I only need the sea. I don't need sightseeing. I don't need bars and fancy restaurants. I love to go to a restaurant, but I don't need luxury in a holiday, you know. I really don't need that. I love to visit some cities also, like Rome. Benny, us? Rome is a thing, you know. It's like my second home, because as a Catholic, the most Catholic I think would agree, entering Rome is like coming home. St. Peter's Square, standing in the St. Peter's Square, looking at the cathedral, and you think, okay, you're home. It's, I don't know, I can't describe it. As a Catholic, it's your second home. But otherwise, cities, I wouldn't make a city trip for 2 weeks, for example, or to relax. I want to visit London, and I want to visit many other cities, but only for a few days, and then out on the landscape and relax at the sea, for example. Yeah. Okay, sorry, I'm digressing. But this is so summer. I can see the summer. And the lady was very friendly, and she is from Upper Austria. Let's see. Yeah, it's Upper Austria. And so I discovered for me a new yarn vendor, so to say. I will buy more from. That's that. And I like how she wraps it. I think it's the small things. It's the small things. And I think 30 euro, so 29 euro for 1,000 meter. Think about it. The indie dyers normally want for 400 meter about 30 euro. 400 meter. So yeah, I like indie dyers and I like to support them, but 30 euro for a skein is a huge investment for me, to be honest. And she didn't dye these, but she she wound these by herself. So she attaches the yarns to each other and decides which colors go good together or go well together, and shows, so she designs the gradient, and that is for me as challenging as dyeing, in my opinion. Yeah. Okay. And then there was another booth. I don't know. It was, okay, I told you that we had to pay 5 euro entry, and I looked through the first two yarns, so the first two booths, and then we sat down in the middle of the room and were a little bit like realizing, okay, that's all. There are two other booths and then it's over. And the one vendor, I think, saw our disappointment in our faces. And okay, I went to his booth. It was a man, a tall man who really was outstanding in that room, because all the other vendors were women, and I can't explain what I have on my tongue now, or I can't get it out. He was outstanding. I don't know why. It was like, okay, who's he? And the yarns were so pretty. It was, I was drawn to that booth. And then I looked on the tags and saw, okay, that is yarn from Norway. That's awesome. I haven't tried Norwegian yarn yet. And then the colors were like so muted, pastel-y, not so loud, screaming, wild colors, and all were solid colors. So I had the sparkle cardigan on my mind when I was entering the marketplace by Hohe Locatelli, and I thought maybe I can find 3 skeins of yarn for for that cardigan. And then I saw his booth, and I realized that he has let's say, I don't want to show it now. You will see it in just a second. He has cotton, viscose, and linen yarn. And I thought, okay, it's the sparkle cardigan by Hohe Locatelli is a very lacy cardigan, perfect for spring into summer. And so it would be awesome not to have a sheep woolly cardigan, because normally I'm getting very hot when the sun comes out, and I only wear very lightweight cardigans then over my dresses. And I saw this color. I saw the ingredients, so to say, of the yarn and the yardage, and that it's a Norwegian yarn. And the guy told me that he is from Denmark. I had to buy. I really had to buy that. So I bought 6 balls. Is that a ball? 6 balls of this cotton viscose linen yarn, and it is so soft. That wasn't the point. Normally linen yarn is so stiff, and it will soften after touching it a lot and after washing. But knitting with linen yarn, I think, is not really awesome. So I bought this one because it is so soft, and he had wait, I know the English word, samples. You know, he had knitted samples. It were the dresses from his daughters, because he and his wife have 2 children, and she is a knitter since she was 4 years old, and so I could touch the knitted fabric out of this yarn, and it was so awesome and soft and nice, and it was so cheap. One ball did cost, wait, I think €4 and 50 cents. So 100 grams gain would be €9. 9, and it's linen, viscose and cotton, and it's from Norway. I mean, I had to buy that. So I can make a sweater for so few money. A whole sweater. If I had, for example, if I had chosen one of the indie dyed speckled, you know, normal yarns, it would be a €90 sweater. €90. It's too much for me, to be honest. I can't afford that. And then he saw our disappointment in our eyes, as I told you, and then he came towards us, and he gave us his card with a coupon, so with a voucher on it for €5, a €5 voucher, and he said, yes, I want to offer you a €5 voucher for everyone, for you too, because I'm so sorry that this festival turned out as such a disaster. And yes, and back home I realized, okay, he gave us back the €5 entry, so to say. So I paid, instead of €30, I paid €25. And not only for the yarn, I also bought this because mine was broken. Yeah, and it's pretty. And with the voucher, he gave us 2 stitch markers or progress keepers. So, and I will definitely, I'm sorry, my voice is breaking. I don't know why. He and his wife have in the 18th district of Vienna the Lille Boutique. I think it's Little Boutique, just in Norwegian. And yeah, she is from the, I don't know how these islands are called in English, Färöerinseln. Faroe Islands? I don't know. Read the screen. And when he was telling me that he is from Denmark, I was like, oh, a Dane! You are a Dane! I have so many questions. And then I was asking him, do you know Mike Viking and his books Hygge and Lykke, and is it really true? Is he telling the truth? And then he told me that he lived in Copenhagen, and yes, it's true. You can put your stroller with a baby inside in front of the cafe, and you sit 2 or 3 hours drinking coffee, eating cake, and no one will do something with your baby or steal the stroller or so. And yes, so we were talking a lot, and I could ask all my questions, and he was very nice, and I'm sorry. Do I have to say something? I don't think so. I don't think so. You see, light blue. It will be so pretty. It will be so awesome pretty. Yeah. So all in all, I wasn't disappointed anymore after entering or finding his booth. I wasn't disappointed at all because I got back my €5 entry by him. There was no need for him to do that because it wasn't his fault. I got back my €5 entry. I found this pretty awesome yarn. I have always wanted to do something with linen and try that out. I saw the pattern from Hohi one day before going to the festival, and immediately found the perfect yarn and the perfect color by such a nice guy. And I like the idea that I support his and his family because they live by selling Norwegian yarn in Vienna, and they are in Vienna since 3 years, and I like the idea of supporting them and have so special yarn. And yeah, all in all, it was awesome. But I think this was the last Wool and Design Festival in Vienna, because I can't imagine that the vendors will come back again, because there were on Friday, there were many more vendors. I don't think that I told you, did I? And they left because it was so badly organized that there were no customers and that many more problems. So I don't think that they will trust in the organization once again next year. But next week, I think next week in Lower Austria there will be a yarn festival, and I will definitely go there. And because there are some vendors who weren't attending the Vienna Wool and Design Festival because they were so upset, so I can go there just a week later. It's no problem. So okay, I promised you that I would talk about friendship today, but I don't have the time. I'm sorry, but I think I can tell you that I have thought about friendship a lot and how I can deal with... Okay, I can open a discussion. Maybe you can enter in the comments, or much easier in our Facebook group. What do you think? How much change does or can a friendship stand? You know what I mean? Because I have some friendships who are new or who are already lasting for several years, and then you are changing, your personality changes, or your interests, and the ones from your friends also. And my question was, how much difference or how much developing in different directions can friends deal with? Or from when you would say, okay, now I think the friendship will end? These are the questions I was thinking about, because there's this one thing in my head always saying, now you have this friend for so many years already, and do you want to give up? So I don't know if it's only the idea of, oh, I have invested so much time of my life in that friendship and it would be a waste of time if I end this friendship now. Or is it really the thing, it's worth it because, you know, you went through so many phases of your life and with that friend, and you need that friend, or your friend needs you, even if you don't agree with him or her in many things anymore. Yeah. So these are a few questions I have on my mind. I haven't answered for myself, so maybe you can write me or comment below, or in our Facebook group. That would be much easier, because it's more easy for everyone to answer and like and or something, you know. Yeah, that's that. So now I will quickly edit this podcast so that you have this on your, when, I don't know, Sunday morning, Sunday afternoon, I don't know so many different time zones, but you should receive this episode on a Sunday so that you have the time to watch it. Yeah, so thank you very much for stick with me here again, and I'm sorry if I wasn't that organized today. Next week I hope it will be better. And oh no, I have forgotten. I still have to say something. Okay, whew. The reason why I haven't done so much knitting and crocheting was the we call the guy inspector called me, so the inspector for teachers for religion, and he called me and told me, okay, we have received your appliance, I hope so. And yeah, we can offer you 2 schools and so many lessons and so on, because I have explained once how this works in Austria, because yeah, it's a struggle to get enough lessons so that you can live from what you're working. And yeah, so he offered me 24 lessons. That is 2 lessons more than a whole job, you know. It's not a partial, because if you are okay, if you have 20 lessons religion, you have a job in a value of 40 hours per week. Do you understand? Because we get paid not only for the holding or for making the lesson in school, but also for preparation and the after lesson work. So every school hour gets 1 hour in addition paid. I hope that made sense. So he offered me 24 lessons. That would be way too much, because that's way more than a whole job. Because normally in Austria, a whole working week has 38.5 hours. So yeah, that would be a bit much. And these 2 schools are too far away to be able to get from one school to the other in the break of the school. So there was no way. So I decided to take only the one school with the 18 hours. So back when he phoned me, he said 17 hours, but then it turned out they are 18 hours, and that's awesome. That's enough. That's awesome. And I'm the only teacher, so the only religion teacher in that school. That's also a thing I really like, because you are the one person in that school. The students and the teachers come to. It's as a teacher for religion, you are not only a normal teacher, you are something like a therapist also. And the students and sometimes the teacher come to you with problems the students have with the teacher, or the teacher have with their students. And so for me it's nicer to be the only teacher for religion. You know what I mean? It's just a thing. It's a feeling. Some teacher like to have a co-worker they can share their problems and their tasks with, but I'm not so much a team worker, to be honest. I like to work alone. Yeah. So that is so awesome. And the village where the school is very nice. Very, very nice. And not too far away from my home. And that when I hung up the phone, I was dancing. I was walking with Benny and I was screaming and dancing. I hope no one had seen this. And I was so happy, and that inspired me to put out all the school supplies again I had in the basement, and I had to make place in my flat because it's not so big. And where I lived before, I had my own office where I had much space and much room for all the books and folders and supplies I need to prepare my lessons. I ordered a new shelf, and yes, and I have thrown away many things which I didn't touch for several months, just to make, I tidied up and made place and arranged everything for the new beginning, for the new chapter in my life. And although I was working so much, also studying so much this week, I was very tired in the evening, so that's the reason why I couldn't craft, but I was content. And that I haven't been that content work related for many months. Yeah. Because the thesis is a work of labor, not work of labor, sorry. A labor of love. But it is hard because I'm alone at my desk every day convincing myself to go on. But imagine I'm a teacher again and I will go outside my flat and I will talk to real human and get instant feedback. Is so much more gratification than being home alone writing the thesis maybe only 4 people will read. That doesn't mean that I don't like that, because I decided to do that because it was my passion, and to study and to find out the answer for my research question is a thing I still like, enjoy and want to do. But to be a teacher, I think, is my first vocation. I think so. And I think finishing my thesis while I'm working as a teacher I will be much more productive. I experienced it already once after finishing after graduating, starting to work. I was so into theology in the afternoons, because in the morning I had my little children and taught the easy things religion-wise, and coming home there was a need for me to dive into theology and the complicated stuff and so on. And now that I have the whole day for that, I'm not that productive. And I believe in that sentence, you always need so much time as you have. And if you have less time, you will get done your task in less time. Yes, so, and I found out that I have these 2 hearts in my chest, and that I need both to be productive in both of my jobs. Yeah, and that made me so content, and this feeling, falling asleep totally exhausted but totally content, and yeah, and proud of what I have achieved on that day, was awesome. And it's not that I will earn more money, not at all. I will earn maybe a little bit more, maybe 100, no, not even, I think 50 euro more per month than I receive in my studentship. So it's really not about, oh yes, I will get more money and I will enjoy my life. No, money-wise, nothing will change. Instead of, I have to go outside my flat to earn that money. Although I'm so grateful and I'm so content, and I feel like a human again, like a citizen of I don't know, be a productive part of the world. I don't know. I mean, it's not a studentship because I have too less money. It's a studentship. It's called in German Leistungsstipendium. So that means only if you can only get that studentship if you have excellent grades and have done a lot of charity work and have many how it's called, read the screen. So I have done already the work before I have received the studentship, and the studentship is only the read the screen. Sorry, I haven't had my breakfast and it is already noon. So I can't really think. So yes, I know that I'm not lazy, but it feels like I'm being lazy. Not working and getting money every month. Well, I'm working, but it's not like working, you know? I'm studying, but it's not really work. Yes, it doesn't feel like work. It is work, brain work, but it's, yeah. I hope you can understand. I want to be a member of the working society again. That's, yeah. Okay, and I'm very happy and a little bit proud, and I'm so looking forward to start into the school year, and to have one school is a very, very precious thing, because most of the teachers for religion have to teach at least 3 schools to have the amount of hours I have at one school now. So I'm very blessed, and I feel very blessed to receive that school. Yeah, so I will end here now. I hope you weren't bored. I'm sorry. And I will see you next week again. And enjoy your upcoming crafting week. Bye bye.